Shimano has asked me to build my ideal mountain bike, and that's really got me thinking. And overthink, and then even think some more. "29" 27.5" carbon, no. Alloy, enduro, no. Trail. Trouble is, once someone gives you free rein to build whatever you want, your head gets carried away with crazy ideas. So I've gone with the heart instead. Yep. Well, it had to be really, didn't it? Subliminally, I think I've had Yeti going through my head for a while now, so this was the perfect choice. Shimano wanted me to build my ultimate bike, and we're going to start by using this frame. Let's get it in the work stand and I'll explain a bit more. Okay, so this is the frame I've chosen for my Shimano Ultimate bike build. It's a Yeti SB100. It's got 100mm travel on the back end. It uses a Switch Infinity system. It has 29" wheels. It's super light, and it's that Yeti turquoise colour that I love so much. I'm guessing it's a bit of a Marmite thing. Am I right? I love it. I've always loved it. And actually, there's quite a lot of things in the house that are this colour just by chance. My workshop floor, I didn't get it because it was this colour, but it's near enough the Yeti turquoise colour. The sort of the fake leather seating we've got on our breakfast bench that I built, that is near enough the same colour as well. Even the salt and pepper grinders have got elements of that in it. And actually in the front room, I've got a Rick James print. I love Rick James, I love my old fun console and stuff. The Tune Super Freak, we've got a print on the wall and it's yellow and near enough Yeti blue. But why have I gone for a bike with 100mm travel, I hear you ask? Well, in the whole lockdown period over the last few months, it's kind of simplified things for me. Now at GMBN, we got a lot of different bike partners, we get to work with a lot of cool people, and as a result there's always cool bikes floating around to ride. There's a few just out of shot. But actually there's only been one bike I've really been riding, and that's been my Canyon cross-country bike. Now that's really a super lightweight cross-country race bike. It's got XTR on it, you know, it's got all of that sort of stuff. And it's just made me love riding in a totally different way, kind of like when I first fell in love with mountain biking. The rolling hills, the sun, the long climbs, the bike that just would glide along single track, a bike that needed taming when you started riding technical stuff. To make anything easy for you, you've got to take control of that. And with 29" wheels now, 100mm travel bike, to me, is near enough perfect, and this bike is going to be that bike, I hope. But I am going to make a few changes to it. I want it to have slightly longer travel on the front, to have slightly heavier tyres, maybe better brakes, a few other bits and pieces I'm going to change just to make it a bit more me than an out and out cross-country race bike. So what am I going to put on the bike? I've got all these cool choices of Shimano componentry, so I guess you're thinking as a GMBN Tech presenter, I'm going to go for Di2, right? Nah, not my kind of thing. Di2 is phenomenal. The shifting is so clean, so fast, so punchy, so race as well. That's not me at all. Neil's always had Di2 on his cross-country bikes, and I've always been secretly envious of it. It's incredible to use, but I just love the simplicity of mechanical transmissions. Don't get me wrong, I really do appreciate tech, but this isn't the right bike for it. Not the right time and not the right bike. So you might be thinking, oh, we'll go for XTR. No, you're wrong again. XTR is XT racing. I'm not building a race bike. I'm building a bike that I want to love riding. So there can only be one choice for me, and that is XT. Now, when I started mountain biking, XT was and still is the workhorse. XT is what you put on your bike if you want the maximum value for performance. It's what you put on your bike for fit and forget. So for that reason, it's going on this bike. Simples. Up front, of course, I had to go for the top of the line Fox Fork, didn't I? I've got the 34 step cast option on there, 120mm travel, the Fit 4 damper on the inside. And instead of going for the 51 rake that you tend to see on short travel bikes like this, I went for the 44. Now, Yeti do spec the 44 on other bikes, and I've observed that, like, it's a good thing the bike is designed around that. I mean, you're talking a pretty rowdy, aggressive little cross-country bike here. It's right up my street. Now, I based my build around what Yeti spec as a T1. So although I've done mine from the frame up and built it myself, it's got some pretty similar parts in there, to be fair. Kept the 50mm stem, that works great for me, but put a bigger 800mm bar in there. Gone for the carbon Proline Tharsis bar. It's got a slight bit of flex on it, which suits me down to the ground. It's really comfortable. As with carbon, the frame and the bars, we've obviously got it installed everything correctly. So I'm using anti-seize compound on the bars there. You might have seen that I'm also using a primer on the bottom bracket shell and a press fit retaining compound. This thing is going to be silent, no creaks at all. Of course, I'm using the torque wrench on there. And also with the XT stuff, I've actually hopped up to a 34 teeth chainring because the 30 that they come with as standard is just not quite big enough for the places to ride and a lightweight bike like this. I've also put a chain guide on it, interestingly. Now, you don't really tend to lose chains much these days, but I love the little security you get, especially from a minimal one like this. And the cool thing about the XTR chain guide is it's got a trim adjustment, which means no messing around with spacers. Thank you, Shimano. For the wheels though, I've stuck with a pair of DTs, so the 1700s. They've got the ratchet drive hubs, which are really good for rebuilding. There's not much friction in them. They're reliable as anything. The alloy wheels, well, they kind of suit me because I'm not that kind on wheels. And if I'm honest, like there's not that much difference with carbon ones. You can get crazy light ones, but this bike is not about being crazy light. With the brakes though, I've gone for a 4-pot on the front with a regular 2-pot on the rear. It's just given a braking bias with the 120 fork and the bigger, grippier tyres and stuff. It just makes more sense to be able to slow me down that bit more. But there we go, it's 12 speed, it's got the workhorse on there. A bit more of a refined approach for a bike like me, I think. I tend to normally go for 130mm bikes, 140mm bikes, but in the last few months I've definitely changed my sort of pitch a bit, and 100mm travel, it just feels great. It's more than enough travel for what I really want out of a bike, but I don't know, I can't wait to ride the thing now. But well, it's been a while since I've done a full bike build, that's for sure. But, oh man, I love it. It's such a nice experience. If you get the chance to build a bike from the frame up, then do it, because there's something very therapeutic and very satisfying about it. I think I might just sit back and have a look at it, I think. You know what that means, don't you? But well, cheers to today. And here's to plenty of single track tomorrow, I reckon. Oh, first outing on a fresh bike, always the best. Mountain biking is more than just blazing along single track for me. It clears my head if I'm stressed out. It cheers me up when I'm down. It's my vessel for health and headspace, and that's why I love this sort of riding on this sort of bike. Yeah, I love my tech, I like my details. That's why I built the bike. But really, the thing that really makes me tick is just getting out there in the wilderness and actually leaving all that stuff behind. I think this cow likes Kashima coating. Mountain biking for me has always been about riding more or less out the front door and living, I mean, look around me, this place is beautiful. I live in the hills around Bath. I can be tyres in dirt 5 minutes from my front door. But I haven't always had that luxury, but it's made me consider the sort of bikes I really want to ride. A lightweight 100mm travel frame is literally perfect for me. 120 on the front, call it down country if you want. I just call it a cross country bike. It just makes the bike feel a little bit more controllable, more comfortable to ride. Again, the bigger brake on the front, as I mentioned when I was building it, I've got the four-pot on the front. It just affords me a bit more control. It's not about out and out braking power. It's about being able to control the bike in the terrain that I ride on. I guess you could say it's kind of why I like XT so much, because it's a transmission that you just fit it and forget it. You know, all right, so in the UK, you'll probably change your inner derailleur cable once a year, maybe twice if you ride in loads of gunky conditions. You need to bleed the brakes every now and then and change your brake pads, but pretty much it's fit and forget. I don't want to be messing around. I talk about bikes all day long. I don't want to be messing around having to fine-tune stuff constantly. I just want to get a good bike, get on it and ride it. And that is exactly what this is. Yeah, it's got a bit of a luxury frame, fork and rear shock on there. But the rest of the stuff is no frills, it's no fuss. Fit and forget, just the way I like it. Rolling hills, natural beauty. This really is what mountain biking has always been about for me. Don't get me wrong, I've been a Whistler like 10, 15 times. I love bike parks as much as the next person, but realistically, that's a holiday. That's not life for me. You know, I can pedal out my doorstep and have 20 miles of this on the doorstep. It's just, I've always appreciated it. And because of that, choosing the right bike has been a necessity. You know, I like the 6-inch travel bikes. They're good, but they're slow. They're not as nice to climb. I like climbing, weirdly. Call me a sadist if you want, but I actually like the challenge of getting up something that's really hard. I like the challenge of something that's physically quite disgusting, to be fair. There's something about it. And actually, in this whole lockdown period, it's only highlighted it even more how much I like this style of riding. I like riding on my own. I like riding with my friends as well, but I like the peace of mind. I like the peace and quiet, and actually having a lot of the countryside to myself has just been amazing. I guess in a roundabout way, you could kind of compare mountain bikers to surfers. A surfer might spend his or her life searching for the ultimate wave. They might travel the world to try and find that ultimate wave, or they might surf the same break for years trying to get the ultimate ride. Mountain biking is the same for me. I love traveling the world to try new trails and find that thing that I really love, but equally, I love riding my home trails. I love my doorstep riding. And to be honest, in modern times, it's become more obvious to me that that is really where my passion is for riding. Short travel bikes, big wheels, feeling connected to the terrain, and being able to ride anything I fancy with no hindrance. That's where it's at. Usually about now in the videos, we start telling you what's going on and start wrapping things up a bit, but well, if I'm completely honest, I was having such a good time riding the bike that I actually completely forgot to do that. So, well, enjoy looking at me looking at the bike I built instead. But seriously, if you like this video and you like this slightly different approach, let us know what you think in those comments. Oh.